Hi everyone, welcome back. Today we're in Simsboro again doing another build video. But today I just felt like doing a normal house build in The Sims because lately I've been doing a lot of renovations or like weird themed videos, I guess. Today I just felt like doing an old style New Zealand villa. I know a lot of countries have villas, but this is tends to be like the style of villa that New Zealand goes for. There's a lot of it's very old style, I guess. But it tends to be there's like a rounded part at the front, but the roof itself isn't rounded, it's the building part, and then the rest is quite square at the back. And then there tends to be a kind of like thing that kind of sticks out of the roof, like a pole for the front part. You'll understand when you see me do it. You'll understand, because me explaining it now doesn't make any sense. But it tends to be that. Yeah. One thing I was annoyed about was when I was looking at the villas online, I noticed that the patio part of the roof tended to be lower than the actual roofing of the house, but because of the Sims we can't do that, so it's not fully accurate just because of the Sims building items or stuff, because you can't lower roofs too much. It can't be like a lower level of a roof, I guess I'm trying to say, unless I build like another story, but it's just a lot of work basically. But yeah, so that seems to be the kind of layout of the houses. And then you have the patio part, and then there's like big poles, and so you might have similar houses in your countries. It's just kind of tends to be the old style homes that we had when New Zealand was colonised and stuff. That people would build these big villas, and they tend to be renovated because they wouldn't have certain things when they were first built. So the layout of the house is actually quite weird. So I tend to build like open plan living, so kitchen, dining room, and living room. I don't know. Tend to be all one big room. But for this house, I end up having to do like a long, narrow hallway, and then everything be separate. And the kitchen and the living room's up in the front part, and the kitchen's at the back of the house, which is really weird for me. Because even where I live, I have an open plan, and then the narrow hallway is like after the kitchen and dining room and living room. So I am used to narrow hallways, but not at all being separate rooms, especially and for building as well in The Sims. It's not something I like to do, but I did it for this build. So yeah, and it's a 2-bedroom house, and the bedrooms aren't huge. They can fit a double bed, and one of them can fit 2 bedside tables, one of them can fit 1, and then the bathroom is quite small, and there's a very small office as well because I wanted to have an office in the build. So yeah, and then for the doorways that I used, so the living room and kitchen had quite wide archways in them, so that's why they have archways in the residuals. They're just kind of old wooden doors. I used a lot of base game in this build, and then I end up making the house a bit bigger and adding an extension. Like I said, most of this house would be renovated, so they would be extended at the back. So that's why I extended it, and so I could fit a dining room in, because when I was looking at the floor plan, I didn't realise there was no dining room in that, but so I ended up extending the house a bit, and then it worked with the deck at the back. So yeah. And then I like I was saying, use a lot of base game. The outside, I believe, like the cladding of the house on the outside is wooden cladding. I don't know what it's called. The wood on the outside is the white weatherboards that they tend to be made out of. It's base game, and so yeah. For the kitchen, I just use a base game kitchen as well. I did a typical kind of kitchen, nothing too exciting about that, just plain white. Added some modern items in. So like the house has like old and new items in it, like it would typically have when you've got an old style house like this. Like the lighting is very old, and the kitchen itself has like an old feel to it, but there's modern items in it. So like the dishwasher and oven and stuff like that are all in the modern style of the house. Because maybe this house has been like renovated, but like they've kept some of the old elements in, I guess, to add character. Was what I was thinking when building this. The dining room is just a small little table just to. So I made sure there was a dining room in there. So the first bedroom, I go for a little bit of a purple, white theme. The bed's purple. It's just an eco lifestyle bed. And I have like a tiny living counter, set of drawers, and just a tiny living rug as well. But it worked with the room space, I guess. I added photos of the bed, but then I realised after I didn't have any windows, so I ended up putting those on the side wall next to the bed. For this bedroom, I just go for a dreamer decorated bed and side tables. And then for the painting of the bed, I went for a brown and blue design. This one, and then just had a normal kind of cupboard, but not cupboard, closet in the room, and then just a space game rug. For the living room, I struggled a bit with the spacing. I wanted a 3-seater couch, but then the space was a bit odd. I do end up working in a 3-seater, but I did spend a while trying to figure out the layout of the room. I ended up not adding any normal single seaters. I just ended up going for a 3-seater and then a ottoman bench thing to sit on, because I still wanted the windows on display. I didn't want them hidden behind a chair, so that's why I ended up going for that. And then I end up adding like a little fireplace, because a lot of these houses will have fireplaces in them because of how old they are. And then I just have a TV on the wall and a little coffee table with just a rounded rug to fill up that space. But yeah, that's basically the living room done. So then I add all the windows in, because for some reason I don't do the windows whilst building outside, like most normal people would. But yeah, that's it, all done. So moving on to the bathroom, it's just a shower, toilet and sink. Most normal toilets that I build. Nothing really exciting about that. Didn't really have room for a bath. But yeah, so that's that done. And then the office, it's just a very narrow office. It fits a big desk, but that's about it. And then I just add a little cupboard in there for a bookshelf for stuff for your Sims to do, I guess. And then adding more clutter to the desk, so it's kind of filled out. And just a little set of pictures for clutter, I guess. So I end up adding curtains all over the place to just add to the house, I guess. Just I felt like the house needed a bit of curtains, so yeah. I end up going for an eco lifestyle floor just because I like the wooden flooring. I end up adding carpet in the bedrooms, so that's typical for a house to have carpet in the bedrooms in New Zealand. Unless it's like really new, I guess. And I just add I think it's Parenthood wallpaper to the house, and then just normal tiles in the bathroom. But that's the inside basically done. I do forget to add a bin. I remember at the last moment, but right now there's no bin in it. For the outside, I end up using the same fencing as I did around the front, and I end up adding a little pool to the house because I had a lot of space in this lot for a pool. I don't do too much with the outside. I just end up adding a lot of trees. I was going to add a pond, but then there's a pond right behind this lot, and I thought it'd be a bit weird if I had a pond for it, just because there's no need for it, so that's why I'm for just a pool. Yeah, nothing too exciting. I end up using the same kind of trees that they have around the lot for this build, because it just made sense for the build. Nothing really exciting about that. I do add fencing around the pool as well, because it's not safe to have a pool without a fence, I guess. But yeah, that's really about it. There is a little fence so you can get to it right in front. You don't have to go all around down the house, I guess, to get to it. I add a lot of flowers just to make the lot a little bit prettier, and a lot less empty. I do add a lot of flowers on my builds, so nothing changing about that. But that's about it, really. Just adding the finishing touches and stuff to the house now, but I think that's it. So I think I'll wrap it up here. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you again soon with another video. Bye!